All right, what's up, guys? It's your boy Floyd, aka your Negus, aka Commish and owner of Team Delaney Saggy Tits. And today I am joined with Coach Carr. Coach Carr, how you doing?
I'm doing well. School day is over. Time to have some fun.
Let's do it. Jump us right into the standings. Do you have standings pulled up?
No.
Okay, I got it.
You talk
We
about
got Billy. Yeah, we got Billy at the top leading the way. He's on a 6-game winning streak after starting off 0-2. You gotta love that. Followed by John is loose, Mikey, then Butts, then Rob, Alexis, Texas. Drake sitting comfortably at the top of the tiebreaker. That's probably going to come into play for sure down the stretch because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with 4 wins. In order: Drake, Andy Miller, Ricky, or not Ricky, Devin Pooley, team bye week, then Ricky, then you. Me and Trevor respectively at 3 and 5. Trevor started off 3 and 1. He's on a 4-game losing streak, so that sucks. And Wiseman rounding us out at the bottom at 1 and 7. Is there anything that stands out to you as far as the standings goes?
other than we are all very clustered. So I think it's interesting that this deep into a league, there is no real favorite or even just somebody that has locked up anything. So it's still very much anyone's game, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it clearly shows that this is a competitive league and that none of us are bad at fantasy football. And it also shows that, we were all pretty prepared in draft day as well, which is kind of cool. I think it makes, as this being my first year in the league, I think it makes for a fun league to have such a balanced attack here. But it is very intriguing, and it is a giant cluster.
I agree
Other
with
than
you.
Wiseman, 7 losses is probably going to be tough to make playoff, even if he ran the table. I think 7 and 7. I think we play 14 weeks.
Yep.
7 and 7. I don't think is getting that 6th spot, but anyone else, 5, 6 losses might get the last 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that was kind of the point this year. I ended up kicking 1 or 2 people out since we didn't have a B league. And I don't know, at the end of the day, I just want the league to be as competitive as possible. And then that's obviously the idea behind relegation when we do have a B league. We'll have a B league next year. I know Wiseman was asking me about relegation. We probably won't have that this year. One thing that stands out to me in the standings is if you have it pulled up, it has Mikey, who's in second place at 46% playoff chance, but the teams behind him, Butts, Rob, Drake, Andy, I mean, these are just projections, but it's showing 83, 63, 78, and 74. So it has Andy, who is in 6th place at 74%, and Mikey at 46 at 2nd place. I wonder if they take roster into consideration when they make that projection. Speaking of Mikey's roster, I know you had some words to say about that. How do you feel about Team John is loose after losing the number 1 player in fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does take roster into consideration for sure, because right after draft, you see it'll create the projection of who's going to finish where. And boy, what a awful week for Mikey here. I mean, to lose Henry and, that team got rough. And that just between his buys, between Brown being in and out so much, between Henry going down now for, they're saying he could be back week 15, 16. It's like a 5-week injury, I think I heard yesterday on ESPN. But boy, you got to believe that if they lock that division up early, he's not playing until the playoffs. And given that he is so much to Tennessee, I don't think Adrian Peterson is as fit for it. And, we're going to see all the action. We go into the recents and stuff, but a lot of people bid on Peterson, as we saw. And he's good around the goal line, but nobody is Derrick Henry, and that's got to hurt. Chuba Hubbard is no longer useful to him, much like once McCaffrey's in, Hubbard's kind of out. So I think he's in an interesting spot. He's got to hope Connor keeps falling into the end zone and Jacobs actually stays healthy, which is another another far cry from anything. And Mahomes has just been so off. There's something, you and I talked about this before, but there is something wrong with the Chiefs. And I know I'm feeling it with Kelsey. I know you had a good week out of Hill last week, but he's been up and down all season long. I mean, I think we're all kind of wondering what's going on with that offense.
Yeah, definitely some problems going on with the Chiefs. Can't necessarily put our fingers on it. People want to blame Mahomes. I'm not necessarily going to do that. I think Tyreek Hill will probably still be mostly fine rest of the season, but it definitely I'm not sure what the problem is with Kelsey, if it's age or they're just not feeding him the ball as much. I mean, maybe that's why. Who knows? Their offense is definitely struggling. But yeah, let's just jump right into.
It doesn't help on Monday when he's still wide open.
You said what? Oh, he was wide open.
So it doesn't help Monday. He split open in the end zone, and then he threw it to Hill. That I thought was going to hurt.
Okay, let's see. Let me peep our recents. We only got one page here. Okay, recent activity. Actually, I'm going to go into the waiver report just because we had so much before I look at trades and stuff. As far as the waiver report goes, it was our biggest one yet, and it looks mainly to do with Adrian Peterson. Nearly everybody bid on him. I would have bid on him, but it just was pointless for me to even try because I knew I didn't really have a chance. I was a little bit shocked. I got where are we at? Jordan Howard for $2. I know it's only going to be like a 1 week start. I don't know. I figured maybe he's got some value to him. I was considering starting him this week, but I don't think I'm going to. It's probably just going to be Dearness Johnson. Let's see. Couple bids on Taysom Hill. I was surprised at Andy's $12 bid on Albert O. While I think it's a sharp pickup, I think in this league, it was always going to be pretty obvious that nobody was really going to put in any bids for him. So maybe he burned $10 that he didn't have to. If Wilson was added again for $12 and that was the only bid on him. You're a Niners fan. How do you feel about that backfield?
Well, having Mitchell, I like that. It seems like Sermon is non-existent. Clearly Hasty, they like to throw to.
They traded up for him.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something going on there. Probably much like Ayuk. There's just someone's in the doghouse lost favor or something. But yeah, I think Wilson is interesting. I always find him interesting. I don't necessarily think that he hurts either of the running backs because I think he's more of just a breather. So, he's going to give Mitchell a breather and possibly catch a pass or two or just be on the field. But, I don't think snap counts are, you lose a little bit of percentage of snap count, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're still not going to get their touches for the two predominant ones. Plus, I mean, he's still not, I don't even think he's off IR yet, is he? He's still showing out. So I don't know even when he's coming back. I just clicked on him and reading the note here on ESPN. Yeah, I don't see that he's not going to play this week. It doesn't look like. So interesting, probably a speculative ad and hope. And of course, it's the NFL and football and running backs break all the time. It seems, even the most unbreakable.
Right.
So I would say that.
Touche. Yeah, and then Tajay Sharp was the second hottest item of the week. Only 2 bids on him total for $11 and $32. I don't necessarily know that he's like a direct swap with Calvin Ridley, so maybe an expensive ad. I guess we'll have to see. He did get some targets last week, but the Falcons just look like a mess right now. But Adrian Peterson, you put in a bid on Adrian Peterson. It looks like $21. He goes for $88. How do you feel about that?
Glad somebody spent $88 on him. I was good at the number. I mean, I had to be honest. I had some people on my bench. I mean, I had Njoku and I had Ruggs, who's no longer useful to me at all.
Jesus Christ!
So I kind of figured, I do think, everything out there. Adrian Peterson is an extremely capable back. He's a Hall of Famer. He is very good around the goal line. He's not completely useless in the passing game. You could argue that he was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry. So
Right.
it could be used like that. I do know. I was listening to something that talked about their their current starter backup, the kid from Boise State, being a pretty good rusher. They've only really used him in the passing game, so who knows there. But inside five, it's real easy. Peterson could get a lot of goal line run, and he could be equally as valuable as James Conner. He could be equally as valuable as someone like that. That's just going to pound it in from the two. I mean, even like an AJ Dillon or even the guys at Kansas City when CEH is out. Just getting those
Yeah.
goal line works. 5 carries
I
for
think
8 yards and a touchdown is not the worst day in the world for someone like that. And if he gets 2 touchdowns, it's all the better.
Yeah, I think the AJ Dillon comparison is probably pretty fair. Obviously, he's probably not nearly as nimble or as strong or as limber as AJ Dillon probably could or would be. I definitely think Peterson is probably going to be like, a 12 to 16 carry kind of guy, and you're praying he falls into the end zone, because other than that, he might get you 40 rushing yards and 4 points total. Andy in the chat here, he says, can't take the fab with you. He paid up a bit, talking about the Albert O pickup. Tight end's the main position people stream, so I wanted to make sure he got a Hawkinson fill in. He needs to win this week.
Yeah. The other thing too is Peterson, he's well rested, and we saw the last time he got well rested, he ran for 2,000 yards coming off an ACL surgery, and no one thought he could do that. Certainly no one. I mean, I remember that year, a little older than you guys, but he was a third round pick that year, and then he went and was offensive player of the year and MVP, and I chalked it up to, well, I guess if you get the guy well rested, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely think Adrian Peterson falls under like that freak people category, where he might just end up shocking you. But before we go into the trade this morning, I definitely will say the 88 for Adrian Peterson was arguably the most egregious fab move of the year, but we'll have to see. So I'm not going to shit too much. I'm not going to shit only because literally everybody bid on him. So we'll have to see.
Andy's right. You can't take it with you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not worried about having just 1 point left. My whole team is not going to get any better through the waivers this year. I got 3 quarterbacks waiting to swap, and hopefully my receivers hit their ceiling, because that's all I can do.
Sure.
Let's see. You guys traded this morning. Let me see this. The waiver report goes so deep, I have to go. Oh, no, I don't. Well, walk us through it. I don't have it pulled. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I got it up here. So
you dropped David Njoku. Yeah, go for it.
Yep, Butt sent Crowder and Javonte Williams to me for Cordell Patterson. Interestingly enough, of course, with the whole thing with Ruggs, I've been, as the league knows, I've been blowing everybody's phones up, trying to make something happen, trying to correct some depth, and that I was pretty happy with it. I think even Kyle and I talked a little bit back and forth about it, and I think he's spot on. Something he said is, and I don't think he's completely wrong. If something happens to Melvin Gordon, he probably loses this trade by a mile, because if Javonte Williams is all by himself in Denver, that's a whole different thing. My kind of thing with this, Patterson's been so good. I almost feel like I'm playing with house money with him, because he was just a waiver ad, a real cheap waiver ad at that. And he's been super consistent. I was a little hesitant only for the fact that with Ridley out, I do think he is likely to see even more targets, which he's been very consistent. He's gotten a ton of touchdowns already. It's hard to think that he's going to continue to do that, but at the same time, he's going to add 3 to 5 more targets now, potentially. Atlanta sucks, so they are doing nothing but throwing. And even that, he's getting plenty of rushes. And so I think for Kyle, he gets a very stable back. I got a little bit of depth. Crowder is good when healthy, and right now if the Jets score 30, I guess he could be good, but sometimes they might score 6, and I'm sure that's going to bite me. But it certainly helped out my depth. I will say this: after we did the trade, or even like one of the deciding factors for me to do this trade, I don't know what Kyle's entire motivation was, but one of the deciding factors for me, I did not realize Williams was as involved in the passing game at Denver. And I like to see that. I liked that he is getting 3-5. He's had a couple, I think, 7 target games. And again, that just only speaks. I know Melvin Gordon had a big week this past week. If anything happens to him, which I don't think he's played a full season in 5 years. So there's likely that I may even get the benefit of a couple weeks, even if it's just 1 or 2, where Williams is the only back. And that could be big, especially later in the season come playoff time. Especially, I need to win. We talked about that with the standings. I don't want to get 6 or 7 losses. I got to win. And I think this week's going to be tough. And then next week I get to face you and beat you. So we'll have some
Oh
fun.
shit. When I was looking at it 2 weeks ago, I was like low-key geeked about facing you and Wiseman. And now all of a sudden, why are the Jets scoring fucking 30-something points and Wiseman's got a pair of Jets? And now your team is dramatically better. So now I'm a little bit worried, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I think you hit literally every point to be made. Especially like in general, rookie running backs towards the end of the stretch seem to come on. And so you like to see that. And I've been trying to get Javonte Williams off butts literally all season and haven't been able to. You hit all the points, he catches the ball. And not only that, Melvin Gordon has been on like the right side of touchdown variance all season. He's been somehow scoring all of their touchdowns. So, I mean, like people got to realize that sometimes is like they might see some guys only scoring 12 points a game or 9 points a game. But if you just drop in one carry, a 1-yard touchdown here and there for each game, and all of a sudden his 13 points is a 19, his 17 is a 24, and you're all of a sudden like if you would have fallen into the end zone in a couple of these games, Butts might not have even wanted to consider trading him. I'm not saying that that's how Butts thinks or doesn't, but that seems to be like a lot of people don't consider that the fact
That's
that
very
he's
true.
unlucky enough. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the Jets randomly showing some life. I'm not sure what they're going to do at the quarterback position. I don't see why they would go back to Mike White, but I guess they might. Or was that who it was that started the week before, Mike White, and who started this week? I don't remember.
No, it's the same. White came
okay.
in for Wilson.
Okay,
I
that's
don't.
what it was. My bad. They should. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like why would they go back to Wilson? But whatever.
I don't think you give up on the second pick so quickly. But I also don't know. I don't entirely know his injury either.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it was a trade that I think worked out for both of you guys. Bud's got more consistency at a spot he was looking for. You got the replacement to Ruggs that you needed, and you also added in a running back as well. So I think it worked for both of you guys. All right. So let's go into the preview for this week. Let me see here. So just going into it, my matchup with Wiseman is first as it loads here. But like I said before, I was geeked to get you and Wiseman a couple weeks ago, but now it doesn't look as promising. So we'll have to see. Win percentages has us 3 points apart, 50-50. My only real concerns this week were, do I start Dearness Johnson or do I start Jordan Howard? It's like if I'm only going to get Jordan Howard for 1 or 2 weeks, I probably should be starting him against the Chargers, but I don't know. The Eagles were off to an incredibly hot start against the Lions somehow, who I actually thought for a second were underrated, and then they gave up 40-0 to the Eagles. So Jordan Howard didn't get any carries until later in the game when they were already up. So I don't want to take that risk, I guess. At the end of the day, Dearness Johnson is guaranteed to get some passing game work. He's guaranteed to spell Chubb and could get in the end zone. So we'll just roll with that. Julio. Yeah, so I could end up playing Brandon Ayuk over Julio. Not totally positive what I'm going to do. I like most of my matchups, so I'm pretty confident. I think the only thing I got to worry about with Wiseman is his primo matchups, like Herbert and then Emmanuel Sanders against Jacksonville. I have me winning this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Tua is still such up and down. You're definitely in trouble at your running back spot, but I think that's more by your own design. I think your biggest problem is Michael Carter. Michael Carter has been exploding as of late.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying. All of a sudden, the Jets got me worried, and I
it's
don't
going
know
to be
why.
tough, man. I mean, he could if he has another 30 ball, you're not getting a 30 ball out of any of your running backs, and that could take the position.
It's definitely in play for Cook.
Yeah, I think too. You know, you and I talk about Tony all the time. It seems like you offer him to everybody, but yet you keep playing him. I think your flex position is much more stable. You know, Christian Kirk, he is part of that Arizona trio that seems to be one of them might do it and the others might not. So it's just kind of depending on who's going to fall where. Darrell Williams, I don't know what's up with this Gore kid, but man, talk about biting into some touches there. That kind of stinks for Wiseman here. Tight end doesn't matter for you guys. At least it's not like a premium spot for you. And then, you know, Mike Williams, I think it could be interesting if you have.
I need
good
Mike Williams this
day,
week so bad.
Yeah, yep. If you have a good Mike Williams day, you might be okay. I think I would lean toward you just as the projections. Personally, I don't think Dalvin Cook has as great a day against Baltimore. God, they looked awful on Sunday night, as I know all too well. And Tyreek Hill against Green Bay now without Aaron Rodgers. You know, that'll be an interesting thing. I think I lean toward you, except for only with the fact Herbert, Cook, and Carter could really bury you early and could be a major problem. And
I agree.
If Tua has a bad day, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I think the top 5 or 6 of his players have a much better floor than a lot of my guys, but we'll have to see. Next matchup, John is loose versus Mr. Verizon. Just off of first looks, I mean, Drake's top 4 players are all just ready to explode any week. Doesn't even matter who the matchup is. Cooper Kupp's like the number 1 player in fantasy now that Derrick Henry's down. Jonathan Taylor's right there. That trade seemingly has worked well for Drake, getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, getting Jonathan Taylor back. Aaron Jones will probably be leaned on heavily now that Aaron Rodgers is out. So that's back-to-back weeks where he gets a break there. Kyler Murray should be fine against San Francisco. Cook still gets the volume. He's facing a shitty Miami team. Drake should blow this one out of the water. I don't even see it being close.
I think projections show that out too. And
projections have Mikey at 103. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I think I was fortunate to beat Drake last week. I had good results, but yeah, I mean, that team, you know, he can even stand a bad day or two from a couple guys. Renfro is probably, you know, increased in targets, increased volume even more. He's going to get one more week at least out of Khalil Herbert before Montgomery's even relevant. And the Giants D is decent enough that this Oakland Raider, you know, the Jacobs and Darren Waller could be a problem. Peterson, I don't know how much he's even going to play this week. Just showing up. Yeah, I think not much else to say. Drake, I think, should win this pretty handily.
So yeah, I mean, that would just add on right to the woes that Mikey might be facing after having such a hot start. Even the projections showing it as far as standings go. And you were quoted this week via text. You said, "Will Mike even win another game this season?" I guess we'll have to stay tuned.
I don't know. I hate to say it.
Matchup,
you know, I don't
Coach Carr versus Devin Pooley. It's cutting out a little bit, but it's fine. A pair of our 4 and 4s. Carr, take us through. It's your matchup.
Yeah. Hate going up against Matthew Stafford and the way they're playing. Hate going up against Alvin Kamara as the only pass catcher in New Orleans. But I think
Hold on. We have some random person in the chat. We have some random person in the chat right now. Let's go.
Right, that's awesome.
Should I give AJ Brown for DJ Moore and Keenan Allen?
Get DJ Moore and Keenan Allen in half-point PPR. Ooh, I don't know about that. AJ Brown, I've got him. I love him.
AJ Brown definitely has more touchdown equity than both of those guys.
For sure.
I would keep AJ Brown in this situation. It depends how deep you are at the position. AJ Brown just has the ceiling and more touchdown equity. And now that, although, so Andy says no. Yeah, I agree. I would not give up AJ Brown. Although Tennessee's schedule coming up is kind of a nightmare. It's just something to consider if you start falling behind. So,
right.
Anyways, back to it, Carr.
Back to ours. Yeah. So I was just looking here. I still have Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the QB spot this week. Because I think last I looked, Rodgers was projected for 22, and so we were pretty balanced on our matchup. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go with the the Jordan Love risk or what. I don't know. I got to check who's out there on waivers. Kamara's scary, always. Not having Mike Evans kind of hurts, obviously. I guess looking here, AJ Brown might get some redemption for me. He was part of the trade that I got from Devin. And so if he has another big week, as he did last week, that'll be big. The Jets against Indy should have some points scored. And I need Kelsey to be back to the reason why he was a first round pick. Not knowing what I'm going to do with my QB spot. I think I got an idea, and I'm going to possibly go complete QB upside. Mike Davis has had a pretty strong floor, and Damian Harris has to score a touchdown. And Chenault is driving me crazy because I made a crazy trade at the beginning of the year. I'm still not even mad about it. But Chenault has not scored a touchdown, and I do not understand how he is one of their younger, better athletes, and they just do not seem to get him the ball. I feel like Billy probably felt with James Robinson the first 3 weeks when Carlos Hyde stepping on the field and getting all these touches. So I guess as it stands now, I'm going to say me, but I think Devin clearly, I think right now is the favorite without Rodgers and the upside against Kansas City.
Andy in the chat asking if you want Kirk Cousins. Devin Pooley also in the chat. He's saying CEH to return, waiting confirmation. Then CKAC Sports. I have Christian Kirk, Emmanuel Sanders, Brandon Cooks, Monte Parker, blah blah blah. No, I would still keep AJ Brown, and then I would also keep starting Brandon Cooks, and then probably Devontae Parker, and just roll with the volume guys. Those guys are all going to keep getting looks all year, and you don't have to do any gambling with them. So
I can see his reason for doing that. But I wouldn't.
Yeah, because it feels like safer to do that trade, getting DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I just think that DJ Moore and Keenan Allen's upside isn't going to the median for all those guys are generally going to be the same, and the upside with keeping AJ Brown is just more worth it. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Yeah, I think you hit everything right on it this week. Projections might have you losing once you get a quarterback figured out. If Mike Davis can fall into the end zone, I think you're looking pretty clean. I'm definitely not a fan of starting 4 running backs, but I think you have 4 decent guys. You have at least 3 decent guys to do it. It sucks though that Mike Davis and Damian Harrison are in really tough matchups. It's going to be a close one. AJ Brown is in a really tough matchup. Chenault, you have the worst matchups this week. Let's just put it that way. You have the absolute worst matchups, and you're going to need that 30 ball from Travis Kelce. But Devin's team isn't like the hardest hitting team either. Stafford might put up the 30 against you. It's going to be close. I think I'm leaning Devin's way this week, which would be 4 wins in a row for Devin if he wins. So something to look out for.
Yeah.
Andy said, "How slow is that Oregon internet?" I'm in California right now, and I don't know why my internet's lagging because I even have a Wi-Fi extender. So
The grid's probably
I don't
shutting down.
Maybe. All right, Billy Block versus Kyle Butts. Two of the best teams in the league. I was saying before we got on that Kyle Butts slowly has one of the most, or quietly has one of the like safest teams with maximum upside. Everybody in his starting lineup is good, very good. Devin said, "Holy shit, first time he's picked me to win since I've been in." That is low key true. Kyle Butts' team is really good. I mean, this is the matchup of the two most solid teams in the league, probably. What do you think? You got any predictions on this one?
I agree with that. We were talking about it. Seems like every Sunday at about 1:15, Billy starts talking about how great his team is, and then he ends with 130 points, and is never the highest scorer of the week. Ironically, yeah, I think Kyle's team. We just talked about the trade he made. Clearly, he had a little bit of extra capital and equity that he was able to move on from, and possibly gets a much more stable horse in his backfield to go with Mixon, who, as long as Mixon stays healthy, has been tough. His wide receivers are just relenting, and even Billy's got good wide receivers, but I think collectively, I don't know. I think I would rather have Adams, Lamb, Thielen, and Pittman
I agree.
instead of Diggs, Moore, Samuel, and Claypool. Carolina's offense does not look like it did the first 3 weeks. Now that they finally are playing decent teams, and Claypool, that Pittsburgh offense, man, 15 points to beat the Browns, but that doesn't lend itself a lot to fantasy success. I think I lean Butts here as well. The Tannehill matchup, again, AJ Brown being a tough matchup means it's tough for Tannehill as well. Chicago's defense isn't a slouch, and even though Harris is probably going to get monster touches as he normally does, Diggs can explode. New England's going to lock up DJ Moore. That defense is playing really well as well, and I just think Philly and the Chargers, that could be a 40-point game. Patterson against New Orleans, he's going to catch more balls and he's going to run anyway. Adams, right now they're with Jordan Love. Who's he going to throw to? I mean, you throw to the two trusted guys, Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. But even still, you go to the guy and it's not like Love is a rookie. I mean, he hasn't played a lot, but he's been there for 2 years now. Denver's going to be tough against Dallas. Baltimore gives up 400 yards of passing every game, it seems. So Thielen could have a monster, and Pittman. I think I lean Kyle. As tough as Billy's
I agree.
Team is, I lean there.
And we're going against projections here too, which generally projections are always pretty close. The projections have it as a 10-point difference, but I'm still going to go Butts' way. We have somebody in the chat, Michael Chap. I have a question. What's your question, Michael? Moving on to next week.
This is crazy. You bring me on. We've got all these other outsiders.
I know what's going on. We got Alexis Texas versus Golden Taint, 4-4 versus a 5-3. Teams like me and you are going to need Robert to take a loss for once. He seems to get by facing the worst teams every week. His team isn't a slouch though. He's probably getting Saquon back. Keenan Allen's as consistent as ever. DeAndre Hopkins somehow does not slow down, and Josh Allen is the man. But that's always going to be tough against Lamar, Eckler, Chubb. OBJ is probably going to have to drop this week. Kenny Galladay is coming back by like Devon. Let me see here. If he can't play OBJ, Mecole Hardman, let's see. He's kind of shit out of luck. He's probably playing Zay Jones is what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's in the rock of his buys are killing him. Lockett and Gronk being out. Kittle is back. He's practicing. So that seems to be fine for him. But he has a massive RB advantage. And, Lamar Jackson's not going to score less than 20. Neither is Josh Allen, I don't think. But, he's going to get production on QB. And Rob's running backs, those are not people you want to hang your hat on. I don't think. Myles Gaskin had a good day, so he's probably not going to do anything now, at least this week. But Saquon's probably big right now. Saquon, I think, is trending to be back, but any sort of hiccup, they've got a bye week next week. The Giants do, and any sort of hiccup, I can't imagine them playing and being such a garbage team. I mean, what
and
are
the Raiders
are
pretty good.
Well, yeah, but just even still, what are they even playing for? You're not risking Barkley, especially with the bye next week. I mean, why? I certainly would like to see it because that puts Booker back in play for me. Give me a little bit more depth this week, but then who knows what's going to happen in Atlanta without Ridley, Russell Gage. Could be tough. I think I'm going to go against projections again. I don't like this running back matchup for Rob, and I think for you and me, I think Ricky could help us out and get us one more back toward the pack.
I think I'm gonna disagree with you here, and I'm just gonna go with Robert's team. I mean, both teams have major question marks with major leaks in their floors. It's literally just gonna come down to Josh Allen, Woods, Hopkins, Keenan Allen versus Lamar, Eckler, Chubb, and then you could probably put Devontae Parker in that conversation too, given that the fact that they're facing Houston. It's going to come down to that 4-on-4, and then everybody else is like, can you fumble into a touchdown or something, or is Saquon going to be back? It's a toss up. It really is. Both teams have studs, but major question marks. I'm going to take Rob, I guess.
Well, good. We'll have one disagreement.
There we go. Last matchup, Team Rusty Cunts versus Andy Miller. We're going to need Andy Miller to lose. Me and you are. Can't trust the projections because he doesn't have a quarterback or running back plugged in. He's got, looks like bye week hell down here. Trevor will probably be starting Kenneth Gainwell, and he doesn't have a quarterback yet. So we'll see. You guys both need a quarterback, eh?
Yeah, no. I wonder if we'll bid on the same people.
Oh no. All right. Let's see. What are you thinking for this week? This matchup?
Well, I mean, hard to go against Cousins against Baltimore's leaky defense, seemingly. Ironically, Herbert was the only one that really didn't do much to him in the last 3-4 weeks. But coming off a bye, I think Baltimore coming off a bye, that could be tough. They could have fixed some things. I don't think anyone likes Nyheim Hines being in the starting lineup. Bolden, I picked him up 2 weeks ago in a different league, expecting, some of that pass catching, and doesn't see a target. I guess Jefferson, Chase are going to be tough. Mooney and Myers are going to be pretty tough, given their target shares and given how much they get active. I think, Trevor's still looking down the barrel at Pittsburgh offense. With DJ, Boyd in Cincinnati looks good. Starting 2 tight ends, I guess if they're not, Kelsey Waller or Kelsey and Andrews in that. I mean, do you really want to be starting 2 tight ends? I mean, he is seriously hurt. Trevor's seriously down this week with his depth. All these people are on a bye. I can't. I don't think I could go, regardless of who he gets at QB. Because he's also got to fill a running back spot. So someone's getting dropped too. If McCaffrey plays, Andy gets what he wants. But I think I'm still leaning that way. Kirk Cousins is going to have a big day. So I go Andy.
Yeah, I got Andy all day here, and the projections I feel like couldn't be any more wrong. They only have a 20-point difference here, or not even 15-point difference. So they're almost saying like no matter who Trevor plays at quarterback and running back, that he's going to be projected to win. I guess I couldn't disagree more with the projections, and I agree with you for sure. Trevor, just most of his guys don't really have a ceiling in play, especially with Deontay Johnson facing Chicago. I guess we'll see. Jalen Waddle might grab 8 balls for 60 yards and a touchdown. That could help. But yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think I'm taking Andy for sure. Speaking of DJ in the Steelers offense, you had mentioned when we were talking about it, when we had looked back at the trade, Trevor probably for sure might have gotten smoked on that trade. Looking in hindsight here now, let me see. It won't let me pull up his stats. Here we are.
I think I sent you a screenshot of it, but yeah.
He traded Robert Woods. Fuck, I don't remember. You did send me a screenshot. Hold on.
Yeah, I got it here. He got DJ Gainwell and KJ Osborne, Robert Woods, Damian Williams, Sterling Shepard. I think you and Wiseman talked about it when it happened, and it was basically, to me, it's basically Woods for DJ. And I think the way Woods started, everybody was a little scared. I think Verizon got a little bit more as far as the ancillary pieces. I mean, Gainwell, he without Sanders, and he's not getting touches. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
so shout out to Drake. I think he's for sure won 2 trades. That's keeping him at the top. He's at the top of the tiebreaker for points scored, which is going to be huge. If anybody's listening to this, that tiebreaker is going to be huge. We have a massive clusterfuck, and it's probably more than likely that somebody will get snubbed out of playoffs due to not having enough points for. So we'll see what happens.
Andy, you want to trade me Cousins? What are you thinking? You just send me a text. We'll see what you're thinking.
Yeah, in the chat.
I don't know who you're going to play instead, but
right, yeah. And let's see, 4-4. He's just trying to get rid of him. He's not happy with Cousins. All right, well, I think Kirk Cousins is like low key a stud, but I don't know. Like when you watch his highlight reel, he delivers some goddamn dimes that are in like the smallest. Oh yeah, he's got Taysom. We get Taysom starting yet. Taysom should be starting. I bid 7 on Taysom. Andy, did you purposely bid 10 on Taysom knowing that I only had 10 points? Because I put 7 on him. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, when you watch his highlights, like you're like, dude, this dude's fucking amazing. And then yeah, like you said, it's like whenever it matters, it seems like. And I don't know if it's a Vikings problem or if it's a Kirk problem, because there was definitely some questionable things out of Kirk. Just in general, Justin Jefferson getting like 5 targets that whole game is like not okay. Like it doesn't make any sense. But anyways, that's it from us. Andy says, I don't pay attention to other teams and doing bids. Not as big brain as you, Jad. Devin Pooley, who is a Vikings fan, says Cousins is the check down king. Trash. Yeah. Devin is king of fire Zimmer after every single Vikings loss ever. Oh, he's always all over social media. Fire Zimmer.
To get beat by Dallas, man. I mean,
with no Cooper.
Dallas without Dak at home. At home, Dallas without Dak, you score 16 points. It's tough to argue there.
Especially after that first drive going right down our throats, no problem.
Right. I heard Coward made a tweet, dumping the ball off to a running back with 3 guys around to tackle him is everything you need to know about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm Team Kirk.
I'm sure Devin feels it.
Yeah. Hashtag fire Zimmer. Okay. All right. That's officially enough from us. 45 minutes is enough from us. Carr, you got anything to say going into week 9?
No, I think we said it all. This was fun.
For sure. Yes, sir. Catch us next week, y'all. I don't got nothing else to say. Praying for a win this week, and then looking forward to our matchup next week, Carr.
That's right. I'm going to whip you.
All right. Peace, y'all.
See you guys.